Hello, it's Bob Pandolfo. Welcome to Power Pace with Pandy. I'm recording this on Thursday, September 25th, 2025, and this will be the first video introducing my new handicapping system, which is a computer system called Triple Edge Handicapping System. And here you can see the logo, which is on the front page of my handicappingwinners.com website. It will be ready probably next week sometime, maybe around September 29th or something like that. I'm just writing up. I have the instructions. I have the system. We just finished it, but I'm writing up a little booklet too to go along with it. But I wanted to show you a couple things. We'll start out at Belmont at the Big A. This is last week, September 19th. So there were a few. We'll go over each race just quickly to see how the ratings did. So the first race was St. Bridget's Cross 1. That's the 4-horse. You open up the race to the first race, and St. Bridget's now it's automatically sorting on this number here, which is speed and class contenders, and that ranks St. Bridget's on top. Now we also have an average speed in here, and I'm going to explain all these ratings. I have several new ratings in here that have never been in any of my other programs. As you can see, St. Bridget's, what's the last name? St. Bridget's Cross has the top average speed, which is the average speed rating of 79. So that's a pretty big advantage. And then has 2 asterisks. In this system, I took some of my proprietary ratings from my other systems, the ones that produce the best long shots. In other words, the ones that consistently generated top-ranked long shot winners. And those ratings were ESR, early speed rating, fraction, which is sort of an early speed rating too, but it's a little bit harder to explain because it's in between calls. Really don't want to go into it now because it's an algorithm we created, but it works really well for long shots, especially in sprints. And then we have form and race distance. So I took these ratings, form, ESR, fraction, form, and race distance. Some of them were in Formula Pro, which is the last software system I came out with, and some of them were in Real Time and Power Pace, which are earlier software programs that I use and that I have for sale. So what I did is I took the horses that look like they're contenders on average speed, and if any of these horses have a speed rating that is within 5 points of the top rated speed and is ranked first in any of those long shot proprietary ratings, the horse gets 2 asterisks. If a horse ranks first in any of those long shot categories and is within 10 points of the top speed, the horse gets 1 asterisk. So this is a really powerful way of quickly seeing not only who has the best speed in the race, but horses that have a chance at a price based on these powerful long shot ratings that I have built into my other programs. So the source is just we're telling you where we average this, the kind of races we average the speed. And then we have the Kieran speed points. Some of you may be familiar with that's like an early speed type thing. This is a new rating called current form rating. And this is a new proprietary rating. It has a number of different steps to try to, it's different than my other form rating. In Formula Pro, that form rating was more of a long shot form rating. This is an overall more of a, more factors built into it. Gives you a more precise form rating. Probably not going to be as good for long shots as the other form rating, but it'll be good for picking winners. And basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to have a rating that shows, current form. Then we have this FSS rating is field strength speed. So sort of like a class rating, but I wanted to try to get an idea of, what the kind of horses that these horses have been facing. So again, this is a compounded rating where we have par times built in there, speed, class, purses. Then the higher the number, the better. And you can sort on it. You could click it here, and it'll show you which one's the top. And then we have this SCC number, which is a combination of various these numbers added up, and it'll rank them. So was it speed? Now I can't remember what it's called, but speed and current class, I guess it is. The SCC. So we start in the first race, and by the way, when you get the instructions, these and the booklet that I'm coming out with, it explains a lot of these things in more detail. How we formulated them. So you can see the first race it picked the winner on top, paid $5.64. It picked it actually in two different categories, speed, actually in three. It had the top current form, the top speed, and the top SCC. The second race was won by Battle Drum. We go to the second race, and on SCC he's ranked second, and on speed rating he's ranked second. Current form, he is ranked first, so pretty good. And that one paid $5.94. We go to the third race. I don't know if I had anything in the third, but let's see. And this is the horse that won. He has one asterisk, and he paid $7.66. We go to the fourth race. Now, so I'm going to go through the whole card, and there's a few things I wanted to show you, though. In the fourth race, we rank on speed. Mozambique comes up third. Now here, this is a good way of using these asterisks. So you can see that he's the third ranked on speed, and on SCC he's the fourth ranked. On current form, he's fourth ranked, and on this class rating here, he's second field strength speed. So he according to this, the 7 horse has been racing against the best horses, and the 8 horse has been racing against the next best horses, the second ranked. And you can see that he paid $19.64, Mozambique. So that was, goes to show you that even though he didn't have a top speed, he did have one of those marks that shows that he ranked first in at least one of those long shot categories. And those are powerful categories. And some of these horses could be ranked in more than one of them. The fifth race, we did not have. This was a Mound 3/8 turf race. This horse was, I think, making his first start on turf, or she was. Then we come down to race number 6. So if we sort on speed, normally I'm going to sort on speed. I would sort speed would be my propriety for the way to sort first, and then second would be SCC. So we see Sweet Montreal, and Sweet Montreal not only has the top figure, and this is a pretty big advantage of 8 points. This is a 6 furlong sprint on turf stakes race, but he has the 2 propriety marks and the 2 asterisks. He has the top current form rating. I think these are fillies, though. Wait a minute, let me just see. I'm calling him he. Let's see. New York bred, 2-year-old. No, just 2-year-olds. 2-year-olds, New York bred. So Sweet Montreal paid $24.44. Went wire to wire. So here you see, he's got a big speed figure edge. He's actually leading in Kieran's speed points, but it's a 3-way tie. He's leading in current form rating, which is one of my new ratings. And on SCC, he's got one of not all the horses get SCC, because you have to have to get this number. You have to be within 10 points of the top speed to get one of these numbers. So he's in that category, which is good. But basically, he looks really good here. Top speed, current form rating, and $24.48. And let's see, we'll go down to the 7th race, Accelerated News. I don't think it had Accelerated News that good here. Let's see. Accelerated news, 79 rating, nothing really there. Then we go down to the 8th race, which was the turf race. Mayor of Midnight. This is another one of these longer turf races. This horse just kind of looked average. And then we go to the last race. And this is a claiming race. I love these races where for non-winners or 2 winners lifetime. That's like one of my favorites. So here, Blown Cover has the top speed rating of 88. Now he doesn't have the asterisk, but pretty good current form rating, because the top rating in here on current form is Carango. Let's see, the Carango run. Yeah, Carango ran 3rd. And that's a 15, and he's got an 11. And he's one of the 5 horses that has the SCC. Again, if they have the SCC, that means that the system is identifying, the horses that don't have an SCC don't have some of those prior potent ratings to go along with their speed. So this is one of the reasons why I did it this way. I don't mind that there's zeros, because I want to show who this computer system thinks are the main contenders. And it's not necessarily the main contenders, like favorite, second choice, third choice. It could be long shots, and that's what I want. And here you can see that Blown Cover paid $84.86. And this was interesting too, because Blown Cover has got the top speed rating. He's one of the 5 SCC contenders. He's got a decent, form rating, current form rating. And then there's only 2 starred horses, Nano Man and Cousin Ed. So if you're going to play this long shot and you're going to keep him in exactas, you're probably going to go 5, over 3-10-4, and you may put a few extra bucks on the ones with the asterisks, right? Because those are the ones that have these proprietary marks, plus competitive speed figures, and they're in the SCC. And as you can see, Blown Cover with Nano Man, the exacta paid 700. Let's see what I have here. A $1 exacta box paid $363, but it was like 700 and something, $760 something dollars. No, $727, I think it was, for a $2 exacta. But for a $1 exacta, $360, $365. And as you can see, even if you boxed the top 3, you would have had it. But if you keyed Blown Cover, with these starred horses, you would have had it. And the SCCs, it's ranked 1st, 3rd, and 4th. Well, no, maybe not. Let's see. It's ranked 2nd and 4th on the SCCs, the exactas. On speed, it's ranked 1st and 3rd. The current form rating, like I said, was pretty good in this horse. I mean, considering, don't forget, the horse is going off at 41-1. So here, I mean, this system is, the Triple Edge system is showing that the horse is in pretty good form. He has the top speed in the race, top average speed. And he, like I said, he has this contender rating here, this speed class contender. This is speed and class contender. So that means that when we put all these together, he had pretty good form, he had good speed, and he had the class to fit here too. It all kind of fit together, and this is a compounded rating. And there it is, $84.86. The reason why I call this Triple Edge is because it is a rating that combines speed, class, and form. So it has those 3, and that's what it's all about basically. I mean, the horse is either, some horses are going to win because they have the best form, some are going to win because they're the fastest, and some are going to win because they have a class edge. And sometimes it's a combination of 2 or 3 of those factors, or all 3 of the factors, or 2 of the factors. So this is the first video that I just wanted to show you an entire card at Aqueduct, Belmont at the Big A from last week. And you can see we had, an $84 horse on there, and then we had a $24.40 horse, Mozambique. And there are other horses like the system had a double cold actually. So like I said, it will be for sale soon, probably next week, early next week. I just have to finish the book, maybe in the middle of the week. I want to finish this book. I want to put together a nice package. I'm really excited about this because the speed and class contender. I like that it signals out. It gives you a certain amount of horses in each race. See, it doesn't give you all the horses. So I like that because you can kind of see right away who the main contenders are. That doesn't mean that all the winners are going to have an SCC number. It's designed to pick live horses that could be tough at a price besides the obvious favorites. The average speed is great. Current form rating I think is doing better than I actually imagined it would. And I love the Astor set. I've been thinking about doing something like this for a while, but I couldn't quite put it together. Sometimes you have to let the little gray cells kind of do their work. And finally it came to me. I know what to do with these numbers, because all these other ratings, like from those 3 ratings from Formula Pro, are incredible. I mean, in fact, anybody who don't have Formula Pro, you probably should get it. I'm going to be offering some packages for people that don't have any of my systems. I'll have packages where you can get 2 or 3 of them, at once, because they all use the same file, and they're all very reasonable. I'm not sure what I'm going to sell this one for. It's going to be more expensive than Formula Pro, because I made a mistake with Formula Pro, because I thought it was good when I came out with it, but as it turned out, after using it, over the last couple of years, these ratings that I designed to be long shot ratings, like the form and the race distance and fraction, turned out to be a lot more potent than I thought they'd be, and I really should have sold it for more money than I sold it for. And these asterisks not only have those 3 ratings built into them, but they also have the ESR. It's still good to have the Formula Pro though, because that has other ratings which like pace ratings and power ratings that fit very well. So I like to use 2 or 3 of these, just so I get a good look at all the different scenarios. But for people that just want to use one, you can do that too. With Triple Edge, this is the new one. It took me a while to come up with a new one because I don't want to be too redundant. At the same time, though, I want it to work. I put a lot of thought into this. We do a lot of testing, and sometimes it just takes me a while for it all to come together in my mind, like what I want to do. The thing is, all these ratings that I come up with and all these systems, you can't just throw something at the wall and hope it sticks. I have to take all the experience I have handicapping. I have to try to figure out, what can I take out of my experience, and the way my mind works, and create a number to match that. And what happens is a lot of times I create numbers that are actually better than the conscientious handicapping out of the form, which is ideal. That's what you want. I outside of New York, when I bet a lot of the races at different tracks, I don't even look at the program, the past performances. I do it in New York because I've been doing that for years, and I have my service, and I have a sheet at the track and everything. But a lot of these other tracks like Parks and different tracks that I play, Tampa Bay, I'll just go in here, look at my systems, and I actually have more long shots that way sometimes, because I'm not looking at the individual line, so there's no prejudice. Like if because these horses, sometimes it's just like this horse here who won the last race, blown cover. If you looked at his past performances, you probably weren't going to think he looked that good. But if you look at this, he looked really good. He had the top speed rating, and he looked good across the board. He had good ratings. So it didn't look like a 1-2 shot, but he certainly didn't look like a 41-1 shot. That was a huge overlay. So, but anyway, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, you just put them underneath. Next week, I'll add the link to where you can purchase the system once it comes out, and it'll be a direct download. People that buy it will get it quick. I send you like a Dropbox link, and you just download it, put it on your desktop. It's ready to go. You need just BrisNet single data files. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. It's free, and that really helps me out. If you click the notifications, like the little bell, it'll let you know when I have new videos. And again, thanks, and I'll have a lot more videos on the triple edge handicapping system.